everybody? Welcome back into another edition of Prime Sports World, coming to you on a hump day. I'm a host, your host, David. On point right there is the CEO of Prime Sports World, Mr. Israel Rivera. Thank you very much for joining us. And today we're going to be unveiling our Week 10 fantasy football rankings. Help you get ready to have your lineup set up for this week, as there are 4 teams on a bye. And if you're looking for consistent content on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, you come to the right place. We go live basically every single day, bringing the most up-to-date content. I've also shared the StreamYard link into all of the places, including the main Prime Sports World Facebook page and the main Prime Sports World YouTube channel. So please go over there and like, share, and subscribe on our YouTube channel. We would like to have some more subscribers over there. And if you have any questions about any of your fantasy concerns, please drop them down in the comments section. We will answer them as the show goes on. Again, David Huffman, Israel Rivera, welcome into the show. Izzy, welcome. Happy hump day, my friend. How are you, man? Happy hump day, buddy.
I'm doing well. I am doing swell. I'm going to go off camera real quick and hook up my charger real fast. But
I've had a pretty crazy couple days, like as working at a TV station during the election season, dude. It's just wild.
Oh, like, yeah, I bet.
It's super intense. It just never ends. Like it's something else.
Well, you're here.
But I'm here now to talk fantasy football. And I had a really good week in fantasy football. I had the highest scoring team in the league that me and you were in. And then I beat AJ in a league that I did not expect to win. That lineup that I showed you, remember that really sad lineup that had like Cole Kmet and Justin Fields and some guys on the Saints you never heard of? That team beat AJ.
That's looking a little depressing there. What I know it wasn't the league that we're in, so
no, I got beat down pretty hard.
Together with him.
Yeah, the Drake kind of gave me the business on Monday Night Football. As much as I love him, man, but I was hoping that Alvin Kamara outplayed him. He didn't. But yeah, that's the only game I actually lost this week. So good for me.
I went 3-1 this week. And the league the league that I lost in, I'm actually like far, that's like my best team in fantasy across all 4 leagues. And Alvin Kamara didn't do much on Monday night, but it's all good. I think my team will bounce back. My team will bounce back next week. Definitely.
I did lose to Dan Kenny too in another league. I'm in a money league with Dan Kenny. So shout out to Dan Kenny.
It's hard. Let me tell you, in that league that I'm in, I have Kenneth Walker. I have the best group of running backs in the whole league. I have Kenneth Walker, Josh Jacobs, Alvin Kamara, and Travis Etienne. I started Josh Jacobs over Kenneth Walker, who had 25 or more fantasy points this week, and Josh Jacobs only had 10, which is okay for like some people, but if you got those 4 running backs right now, you can afford to have some middling or middle average wide receivers and I have Travis Kelce and Jalen Hurts as my quarterback as well. Oof. So my team in that league is special, and I picked up. Oh my! Let me not rave.
Let's not waste any time. They're not here to talk about our fantasy football teams. Let's get into some fantasy football rankings. And as we start with every week, we start with the quarterback position, number 1 position in fantasy football. My number 1 quarterback. This may be a trend until he's on his bye, or they may have already had their bye. But Jalen Hurts, Philadelphia Eagles, number 1. 2, Patrick Mahomes. 3, Tua Tagovailoa. 4, Justin Fields, man. Justin Fields the last 3 weeks has been incredible in fantasy and in real life, really. 7, Kyler Murray. 6, Daniel Jones. 7, Josh Allen. Justification. I'm not sure he's going to play. And I mean, if he does play, he'll probably be the number 2 rated quarterback in fantasy. But I do not know for sure if he's going to play, so I'm going to dock him a little bit just in case. There's 7 for Josh Allen, 8, Dak Prescott, 9, Justin Herbert. I know that San Francisco Niner defense is tough, but Justin Herbert is going to have to throw the ball. That's how they're going to score. 10, Jared Goff. That may seem high for Jared Goff for most people, but the Chicago Bears defense isn't really good. And Jared Goff should be able to utilize some of his weapons on the outside to put up some good points in fantasy in Jared Goff. And then my outside looking in, I got Kirk Cousins, Geno Smith, and this is the absolute last shot for Russell Wilson. If you cannot get it done against the Tennessee Titans and their non-existent secondary, it will not be getting done this season for my Russell Wilson. And then my sneaky and daily is Jared Goff at 5,600. As I mentioned, Chicago Bears defense, not good. So,
well, I'm not gonna dock Josh Allen because I anticipate him playing this week. So yeah, my number one quarterback this week is Patrick Mahomes going up against Jacksonville. If he throws it another 60 times, I think he can have at least 4 touchdowns against Jacksonville. Four
He's
or
not
five
going to need.
passing
He's not
touchdowns
going to need
against
to throw
Jacksonville.
it 60 times against the Jacksonville
I
Jaguars.
hope not. I hope not. By that time, it's like, dude, your
So
arm's gonna fall
things
off.
have gone horribly wrong if he's throwing it 68 times against the Jacksonville
Man, it's
Jaguars.
like your arm's gonna fall off, dude. And number 2, I got Josh Allen. I got him a little higher than you. I expect him to play. He's got a good matchup going up against Minnesota this week. They're not that great on defense. That should be a
I
shootout.
don't disagree with that take whatsoever. I'm not sure he's going to play.
Yeah. And then number 3, Tua Tagovailoa, man. He's been both of us have him at 3, man. I mean, that offense is just one of the best offenses in the league. He's got two of he's probably got the best tandem in football with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Number 4, Jalen Hurts. Docked him a little bit. I know they're going up against Washington, but you know what? I don't think he's going to be heavily relied on in the passing game as much as we think. I think Godley isn't Chase
Chase Young is expected to make his NFL debut in this
Yep,
game.
Chase Young is expected to be back, so that adds a little bolster. And I'm over there forgetting his name because he hasn't played all year. Chase Young expected to be back, so I expect Jalen Hurts to probably get out of rhythm a little bit, knock him off his spots a little bit. But I don't think he's going to be relied on as much in the passing game. I think there's going to be enough of Miles Sanders in this game. I think they'll be able to run the football effectively against the Washington Commanders. I think they'll get it done. On that game. I don't think but I still got him as a top 5 fantasy quarterback, just not my number 1. I think Pat Mahomes has a better matchup. And then number 5, Justin Fields. You're right. Justin Fields is amazing. He's been amazing the last few weeks. I expect the same productivity this week going up against the Detroit Lions coming into town. And then I got Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott going against the Green Bay Packers. I just think even though Green Bay's had a good defense, they're starting to get banged up now. Rashawn Gary's out for the year.
They just signed Jonathan Abram today.
Because they're getting so banged up now. So, but I think the Cowboys are going to take advantage, even if the game's in Lambeau this year. And then Godly. Then at number 8, I got Geno Smith going against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 9, I got Kirk Cousins. And then round out my top 10, I got Justin Herbert. But the one thing about Justin Herbert, man, he doesn't have any weapons. I mean, he's gonna have to be relying on Austin Eckler and Gerald Everett,
and Joshua Palmer,
Josh Palmer, and I don't
DeAndre
even think he's gonna have Mike Williams or Keenan Allen in this game. So
I don't think so either.
That might be a little skewed. I mean, he may not make the top 10 this week, but I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. Plus, they're on the road, I believe, in San Francisco, so that's gonna be
that game is in Levi Stadium.
Yep. And then on the outside looking in, Tom Brady, Jimmy Garoppolo, and Daniel Jones. And then my sneaky and fan duel, I got Marcus Mariota at 6,900. He has a good matchup going against the Carolina Panthers this week. But they're in Carolina, but I still think that Marcus Mariota has a good matchup against Carolina this week.
I don't necessarily disagree with that take. Usually when I do DraftKings, I only pick the players that are playing on Sunday afternoon. So moving on from the quarterbacks, let's hear what you got going on with the running back situation. Your number 1 running back is who?
Number 1 running back's Christian McCaffrey going up against that lowly Los Angeles Chargers defense, man. I think he's coming off a historic game 2 weeks ago. He's got a bye. He had a bye week last week where he, another week to learn the offense, another week to get healthy. I think Christian McCaffrey has a big game this week. Number 2, I got Saquon Barkley. Number 3, Nick Chubb. Number 4, Derrick Henry. I think Derrick Henry's starting to pick it up a little bit, but that Denver defense is pretty solid. I expect it to be a little bit tougher than expected for Derrick Henry. Number 5, Travis Etienne, man. He's been special since they got rid of James Robinson. He's been special kind of, you started to see it a little bit before they got rid of James Robinson, right? But I think against KC.
I think the reason they traded James Robinson away is because they want Travis Etienne to be the focal guy.
Yeah,
he's been really good.
He's been really good, and he's going against a KC team that let Derrick Henry damn near run for 100 yards in the first half. I don't know why Tennessee got away from that in the first half, but I think Jacksonville, if they're smart, they'll give the ball a lot to Travis Etienne. Number 6, Austin Eckler. Number 7, Alvin Kamara. Number 8, Josh Jacobs. Number 9, Dalvin Cook. You know what? Honestly, I really wish, I should have put Dalvin Cook a little bit higher on this list. I mean, Aaron Jones had a hell of a game against Buffalo 2 weeks ago. I think Minnesota can do the same. If they can do the same thing, they're passing the ball a little bit more. Now they added TJ Hawkinson. I think the emphasis now is like, Kirk, we gave you, these weapons now, so we're going to air it out. And they're not giving the ball as much to Dalvin Cook. I wish they would, because I think he can really exploit that Buffalo defense, even in Buffalo. And then my outside looking in, I got Kenneth Walker going up against Tampa Bay. This game is not a regular game. This game is in Germany, folks.
Yeah,
so,
Berlin.
Yep,
9:30 a.m. kickoff.
Yep.
So keep that in mind. Bro.
So it's a neutral site game. So it's not like Tampa Bay has home field advantage or anything like that.
They will though. So
in a way,
I mean, Tom Brady's the face of the NFL. I mean,
I guess, in a way, yeah. Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans will show up there in Germany.
I'm actually not sure. Well, like they'll be fans. I think there'll be fans from every team in the NFL potentially at this game.
They'll be hella conflicted, David. And then my outside looking at it, I got Aaron Jones, Miles Sanders, and Cordero Patterson. He's back, baby.
You got him too low. You got him too low. Too low.
I got him too low.
Yeah, way too low.
I should have had him a little higher, but he's back, baby. Cordero Patterson has the potential to be a top 10 fantasy running back this week.
Top
and
five.
Then I had two guys in FanDuel I couldn't really pick, so I just put both of them. Khalil Herbert at 5,800 and Chuba Hubbard at 6,000. Both guys have some impact, and you can get them low for a low salary in FanDuel.
I like the sneaky and daily. Moving back into my rankings. Number 1, Saquon Barkley. Travis Henry, or Derek, man, I keep saying Travis Henry. And Travis Henry's been retired for like 10 years. I don't know why I keep saying that.
Man.
Derek Henry ran for 200 yards against this Houston Texans defense. I expect Saquon Barkley to have like 180 yards in this game. So, 2, Nick Chubb. 3, Chris McCaffrey. 4, Travis Etienne. Yeah, I'm pretty high on Travis Etienne. 5, Miles Sanders. I do think that they will exploit the Washington Commanders on the running game with Miles Sanders. 6, Derrick Henry. That Denver defense, or at least the running defense side of it, is really pretty stout. I think they're going to give Derrick Henry some problems, and I think they're going to load up and stop Derrick Henry and force whoever starts the quarterback for the Tennessee Titans to beat them. 7, Cordero Patterson. Joe Mixon just had 54 points in fantasy against this Carolina Panthers team. There's no reason to think that Cordero Patterson couldn't have a 3-touchdown game. He had a 2-touchdown game the week that he returned. Cordero Patterson's going to have a monster game. He's going to be what probably start him in daily too. 8, Josh Jacobs. 9, Alvin Kamara. 10, Kenneth Walker III. We're in the same league when it comes to Kenneth Walker. He's been awesome. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers do have a pretty stout run defense.
Yeah.
Although it hasn't been as good this season as it was last season. But he's a focal point, and there's nobody else taking carries from. Like I talked about Travis Homer. I talked about some of those other guys, TJ Dallas on those teams, the team that I thought might come carry. It hasn't happened. I was wrong. Moving on to the outside looking in, Aaron Jones, Dalvin Cook, Austin Eckler. I'm a little bit lower on Austin Eckler because I just think the San Francisco defense is just so good against the run and against the pass. Austin Eckler is going to struggle, to at least in the yards per carry. He might get in the end zone, but I think he's going to have a rough game against the San Francisco 49ers.
Yes.
And then my sneaky and daily, Jeff Wilson Jr. Had a really good game. His first game again with Miami. Look for him to have another good game here against the Cleveland Browns. And then Latavius Murray, still technically the starting running back there for the Denver Broncos at 5,200. Pretty good value. I will be interested to see how Denver utilizes Chase Edmonds, who's really cheap in daily too. So if you're looking for someone that's really stupid cheap and it could potentially catch a touchdown out of the backfield, Chase Edmonds isn't a terrible option either. Moving on. Any thoughts?
Oh no, I totally like the Latavius Murray pick there, man. I think he's gonna be solid this week. Yeah. I don't have any problem with your picks here. And then Jeff Wilson Jeff Wilson Jr. also. He was the focal point last week with Miami in the run game. I mean, Raheem Mostert was an afterthought. And I think
they did split carries evenly, but I think Jeff Wilson was more involved in the passing game than.
It just seemed like Jeff Wilson was breaking out bigger plays in that offense. And I just think Mike McDaniel's, I think as it goes forward, I think he'll lean more on Jeff Wilson to take more carries, take more responsibilities in the passing game.
Agree with you. Moving on from the running backs to the pass catchers, the wide receivers. My number one wide receiver is Tyreek Hill. When I first started doing my rankings, I actually put Stephon Diggs at number one, and then I was like, nah.
No.
Nobody can guard Tyreek Hill right now in the NFL. He's on pace to break Calvin Johnson's record. He's on pace to have 2,000 receiving yards. He'll be the MVP of the league if he does that. 2, Stephon Diggs. 3, Devontae Adams. 4, Mike Evans. I think the drops finally stop here. I think they finally take advantage of that young secondary in Seattle. Mike Evans has a good game there in Germany. 5, Cooper Kupp. 6, A.J. Brown. 7, Justin Jefferson. 8, Deebo Samuel. I'm sure he's going to play. He's been practicing, so I think he's going to play. 9, Tyler Lockett. 10, CeeDee Lamb. Going up against your Green Bay Packers. And then my outside looking in, I got Christian Kirk, Amari Cooper, and Jerry Jeudy. And then my sneaky and daily, TJ will like this because he's a big Donovan Peoples-Jones fan, but it's Donovan Peoples-Jones at 4,300, and then Chris Moore at 3,900. I have not looked to see what the status is for Brandon Cooks, but if Brandon Cooks decides to sit again this week, look for Chris Moore to be more involved in the passing attack. He had a really nice touchdown, and he was super involved in their passing game. When they go in the last game they played against the Philadelphia Eagles, look for Chris Moore to have a good game there for the Houston Texans.
That's crazy. You got Chris Moore, and I got Philip Dorsett.
Yeah,
and I think if Brandon Cooks doesn't play, both of those guys have equal value.
I agree with you 100%.
And Philip Dorsett 2 weeks ago had a touchdown, and then last week I think he had more yardage than Chris Moore. Chris Moore just had a touchdown.
Yeah, Philip Moore, he also had more targets and more receptions in that game.
Yep, actually. Yep. And then number one for me, man, Tyreek Hill. We're on the same wavelength. Nobody in the league can stop Tyreek Hill. There's literally nobody that can cover this man. He has been unstoppable this year. Tyreek Hill, number one. Number 2, Cooper freaking Kupp. I don't care if they're playing, whoever. Cooper Kupp, if he's healthy, he's going against Arizona. Not that great of a secondary. I think Cooper Kupp exposes them, even though that offense has been blah this year. Cooper Kupp.
Matthew Stafford is in the percussion protocol.
Yeah, he is. I totally forgot, and we just heard about that today.
Which is something I am concerned about when it comes to Cooper Kupp.
That is true. That is true. So, if I could redo these rankings, I'd probably put Cooper Kupp just a little inch down. Probably switch him out for Stephon Diggs, kind of where you got him, pretty much. And then number 3, DeAndre Hopkins. Man, he's been amazing. Going against that LA Rams defense, which I don't care if Jalen Ramsey's on. DeAndre Hopkins is pretty damn good. I think he's going to get his this week anyways. Number 4, Justin Jefferson. Number 5, Stephon Diggs. Number 6, Devontae Adams. Number 7, A.J. Brown. Number 8, Jalen Waddle. Him and Tyreek Hill, both. I mentioned them earlier. The tandem is pretty special together in Miami. It looks like, both of them, they don't have equal value, but he's right. Jalen Waddle is just a tad right there under.
Well, I think the thing is, Jalen Waddle has gotten the touchdowns, where Tyreek Hill has gotten a lot of the yards. So their value is very close. Like I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Jalen Waddle, they're both in the top 10.
How many touchdowns does Jalen Waddle have this year? I think he has about eight touchdowns so far.
I don't think he's got that many, but
you don't think he's got that many?
No,
I gotta look at how many touchdowns he's got.
I'll look it up right now.
Yeah, he's got to have at least 8 touchdowns. Number 9, Mike Evans, and number 10, Amari Cooper. You know what? I would say this about Amari Cooper. I've literally doubted him like all season long because Jacoby Brissett is his quarterback, but he just continues to have consistent kind of fantasy numbers, don't you think? And yes, I think
Jalen Waddle has 6 touchdowns, he is currently the 5th highest rated wide receiver at 18 points a game.
That's great. Amari Cooper going up against Miami, who, we just saw Justin Fields, and that secondary has just been getting torched. I don't expect, I don't know if Byron Jones and Godley, who's their other cornerback, I don't know if they're playing right now, but I'm sure it doesn't even matter because
Byron Jones and Xavier Howard. I'm pretty sure Howard. And then they got the kid Noah Iguodala, who's their nickel, who's been kind of bad.
Yeah, kind of bad. Yeah. So we haven't. Yeah. Miami's a little bit, suspect in the passing defense. And then outside looking in, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Chris Olave, and Juju Smith-Schuster, who has quietly had a really good year. there in Kansas City. And then my sneaky FanDuel, Terrence Marshall Jr. out of the Carolina Panthers at 5,700. Baker Mayfield is quarterback. Even when PJ Walker was a quarterback, Terrence Marshall was the clear number 2 receiver next to DJ Moore. I expect Terrence Marshall to have at least 10 plus points, in fantasy. I'll give him 15 this week, especially with Baker Mayfield as quarterback, and he's going against the Atlanta secondary.
I think PJ Walker is going to start for them.
Is PJ Walker going to start for them?
I think so. I think that's the way.
I don't know. Baker threw for 2 touchdowns last week, so
yeah, but it was all in garbage time.
Yeah, was it? Okay. Anyways, Terrence Marshall, regardless of who the quarterback is, he's still the wide receiver number 2. And then my number 2, Philip Dorsett at 5,200. Same thing as what David said. We kind of explained it earlier. Chris Moore and Philip Dorsett. If Brandon Cooks, and I forget who their other wide receiver is.
Nico Collins.
Collins. There we go. Yeah.
So Brandon Cooks did not practice today with a wrist injury.
Yes.
If
those 2 guys are down, expect Philip Dorsett and Chris Moore to get majority of those targets there in Houston against the New York Giants and against the team New York Giants. I mean, they're good defense. I mean, not good defense. They've been playing well or better this year, but their secondary it's still average in my opinion.
Nico Collins actually practiced today, so we'll see what his status ends up being when it actually comes to playing in the NFL. But Brandon Cooks didn't practice today, so who knows?
Yep.
Moving on from the one pass catcher to the other pass catchers, the tight ends. Let's get into your tight end rankings.
Number 1, Travis Kelce. He should be number 1 to the end of time. Till he retires, he should be your number 1 tight end in fantasy.
It's true.
And number 2, Dallas Goedert. Number 3, George Kittle. I was a little conflicted with George Kittle and TJ Hockenson here. I kind of wanted to flip flop them. But I had to think, man, George Kittle's getting better and better. He's got another had a bye week last week, got healthier, and he's going against the Chargers defense that's suspect. TJ Hockenson going up against the Bills defense that can, kind of limit him. I expect TJ Hockenson. I did not expect that fantasy output last week.
Neither did I.
Hockenson to have 9 targets or whatever the case was. So I expect TJ Hockenson to have some top 5 value this week. Zach Ertz at number 5. At number 6, Gerald Everett. Number 7, Tyler Higbee. Number 8, Pat Freiermuth. Kenny Pickett. That's probably his favorite target there in Pittsburgh. And I think going against New Orleans at home, I think he has some value there this week and at the tight end position. And then number 9, Greg Dulcich for Denver. Russell Wilson. Finding him in the red zone. I like that. And then at number 10, I got Kyle Pitts for the Atlanta Falcons. And then I'm outside looking in. I got Mike Gesicki, David Njoku, and Cole Kmet for the Chicago Bears. Cole Kmet had how many touchdowns he had last week? 2?
2?
Yeah, 2 touchdowns last week. So I expect that again against Detroit. I expect him to at least have 1 touchdown.
I think he's become Justin Fields' number 1 or number 2 option there in Chicago.
Yeah, no, he has. He's looked solid. And then my sneaky in FanDuel, Cade Otton, who caught the game-winning touchdown from Tom Brady last week for Tampa Bay. He's cheap at 5,100, but it looks like, he got a lot of targets from Tom Brady, and we all know that Tom Brady loves to throw to those tight ends. That's a safety valve. So Cade, he might have something there with Cade Otton. So I expect him to kind of rise up in the rankings as the year goes on.
I agree with you on the Cade Otton thing. I'm just not so sure I had him in my top 10 yet. But I also think he's interesting in daily too.
He's interesting in daily, not in the top 10 though. Not in the top 10.
Moving on from your rankings to mine, we're both on the same wavelength when it comes to Travis Kelce. Yeah, he should be the number 1 tight end until the end of time. 2, George Kittle. I think they had the bye week to get things kind of set up. I think you look at his progression from week to week, he's gotten better every week. Should be more healthy, more in tune with the offense. 3, Zach Ertz. He's just a focal point of the offense. 4, TJ Hockenson. Yeah, he's been really good as a member already with a member of the Minnesota Vikings for 1 week. Pretty productive there. 5, Dallas Goedert. 6, Taysom Hill. I just can't take Taysom Hill out of my top 10. I think his value as a Swiss Army knife. They didn't use him a ton against the Ravens, but I think that has more to do with game flow than it has anything else. But if they can stay competitive with the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think we'll see a lot of Taysom Hill. 7, Gerald Everett. 8, Cole Kmet. I think this Cole Kmet thing is for real. If I was somebody who had like a Zach Ertz or Dallas Goedert or even TJ Hawkinson to some extent, I would think about picking up Cole Kmet and trading one of those other guys to one where a position. I think Cole Kmet's going to be for real for the rest of the season. 9, Tyler Higbee. 10, Mike Gesicki. And then my outside looking at, Greg Dulcich, Big Bob Tunyon.
Big Bob Tunyon.
You're welcome for saying it that way, because he's
Yes,
the
sir.
only he's the only weapon you guys have in Green Bay that's any kind of consistent whatsoever. Then 3, Kyle Pitts. I don't know. I'm just out on him for this season. I think the Atlanta Falcons are going to run the football a lot, and I think Kyle Pitts' value is going to be limited.
He's
by the fact
phased out as the years gone by, but I can't take him out my top 10. He's that talented.
Yeah, he is talented. It only takes really one big play for him to have fantasy value. So, and then my sneaky and daily is Juwan Johnson, who only catches garbage time touchdowns, but he's got 3 garbage time touchdowns in the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks or something like that. So yeah, if he could catch more garbage time touchdowns for sure. He has talent too. So let's see how he plays. And then James Mitchell. If you don't know who James Mitchell is, you may, if you're a Green Bay Packers fan, know who James Mitchell is. He was one of the tight ends that replaced TJ Hawkinson that got a touchdown against Green Bay. So James Mitchell, really cheap at $2,700 as a member of the Detroit Lions at the tight end position. $2,700 is stupid cheap, and somebody's going to have to take that TJ Hawkinson productivity, and I think it's either going to be the guy whose name I can't pronounce, so I didn't put it on this list, or James Mitchell. That's a much easier name to pronounce.
Oh my goodness!
Can you pronounce the other guy's name? Like
no.
Like it's
godly? Where is it? I'm looking for it right now.
It's a doozy.
You said it's a doozy. Is it Zylstra?
Is it? I don't know. But so
Zylstra? Something Zylstra?
Shane Zylstra? Zylstra? Yeah.
Zylstra from Miami State from Minnesota?
But James Mitchell had more targets and more yards and had the touchdown, so I picked him over as my sneaky and daily. Moving on from my defensive rankings, I got the number 1. I got the Philadelphia Eagles going up against a pretty bad offensive Washington Commanders. 2, Giants, same thing, only with Houston. 3, same thing, only with Green Bay. Sorry, Packers fans, your offense sucks. 4, Raiders, and then the Raiders going up against a really bad offense in the Indianapolis Colts. 5, Denver. I don't know who the quarterback's going to be for the Tennessee Titans yet, but both of those guys, Ryan Tannehill or Malik Willis, have shown the ability to give you one. So Denver's pretty high on my rankings here on defense. And then outside looking in, Chiefs, 49ers, and the Saints. I just think there's a lot of talent there in the Saints, and they're going against Kenny Pickett, who's still kind of having some growing pains. And then my sneaky and daily is the Titans going up against Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos, who haven't been the pinnacle of offensive efficiency so far this season.
I think that Tennessee Titans pick is pretty good. They have a good matchup heading into this week, in my opinion. And I think from last week, from what I saw, especially against a Denver team that I don't even know what the hell to think of this team. So offensively, I think Tennessee. I think defensively, they played physical. They played Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City Chiefs physical for 4 quarters.
Most of the game. 4 quarters.
Most of the game. So yeah. I expect them to play the Denver Broncos physical at home, and it's going to be some smash mouth football with Derrick Henry. They better be prepared. The Denver Broncos, and I think that defense is going to settle in and play physical this week again. Number 1 defense is the Philadelphia Eagles going against those Commanders in Washington. They are going to have a hell of a game playing Caleb Heineke. Caleb, give me a 6-pack of Heineke's. But you know what? Those Heineke's are going to be drunk before the game because we ain't going to have no pop and none of that. They just take away all the pop away from those Heinekens, baby.
The Heinekens are going to be flat as hell.
Those Heinekens are going to be flat as hell. All going to be open, baby. Philadelphia Eagles at number 1. And number 2, I got the Dallas Cowboys. They have been – Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence are probably the best pass rushing tandem in the league. Won't you agree?
Yeah. I mean, if Chandler Jones had been anywhere near better this season, I think they could have had an argument. But yeah, they haven't. I
think the Dallas Cowboys are going to wreak havoc on that middling Green Bay offense, and I hate to say that. At number 3, I got the Tennessee Titans. I'm big on the Tennessee Titans this week. I think they go against a horrible, a Denver Denver offense that stinks. I think they're going to play physical at home. I think they're going to get Russell Wilson into some trouble this week. Yeah, give me the Tennessee Titans this week. My number 3 defense on fantasy. And then number 4, I got the New York Giants. Round out my top 5, I got the San Francisco 49ers playing against a LA Chargers team without Keenan Allen, without Mike Williams, on the road.
Without Rashawn Slater.
Without Rashawn Slater. On the road. Justin Herbert it kind of just doesn't even look healthy this year for some reason.
He's still dealing with that. I think he's still dealing with that broken rib cartilage. So
it's just
through it.
All bad for the LA Chargers going against San Francisco 49ers. I like San Francisco this week. And I'm outside looking in. I got the Kansas City Chiefs, New Orleans Saints, and the Denver Broncos. You want to know why I got the Denver Broncos? Because that's the only thing that K can do right is play defense. That's it. And I expect that Tennessee Titans game. I expect Derrick Henry to have only like 1 touchdown. He'll have probably like 100 yards, but that's about it. I think this game will be low scoring. I think it'll be probably like 10-6, something like that around those lines. And expect the Denver Broncos to have an 8 to 10 point output or 7 to 10 point output in fantasy this week. And then my sneaky in FanDuel is the Pittsburgh Steelers at home. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to get the New Orleans Saints. Golly, it was really hard to watch Andy Dalton play quarterback last week.
True.
I think with the Pittsburgh Steelers coming on a bye week, playing at home, I think they're going to be a little bit opportunistic against the New Orleans Saints this week. I got them as a sneaky play in FanDuel this week. So rolling with that, man.
I like the Steelers pick. That's pretty solid. But yeah, that's been our Week 10 fantasy football rankings. Let us know down in the comments section what you think about our rankings. And hopefully these rankings help you win your matchups this week because it usually helps mine. So we usually do a lot of Cousins or Danny Dimes just for this week, Mo Diesel, or for the rest of the year.
I'm gonna assume for this week.
I'm going Danny Dimes for this week.
I'm going Danny Dimes too. As well.
Going up against Houston Texans defense.
Yes, he should expose them. Yes,
not really all that good. I am concerned a little bit the fact that the wide receiving core there for the New York Giants isn't exactly stellar. But Daniel Jones's fantasy value is saved by the fact that he runs the ball a lot.
Hell, I'm 5-4, half PPR, 12-man league. Cousins, Etienne, Walker,
Evans, AJ Brown. How are you 5-4?
Goddard, Chubb, Allen, Robinson, Sutton, Rashad White.
All right. So if you're asking who you start, so you get Danny Dimes. I would start at quarterback over Kirk Cousins.
Yep.
I would start Chubb, Etienne, and Walker.
And Kenneth Walker.
And then I would do Mike Evans and AJ Brown. I would start. Is that Allen, Josh Allen, or is that Allen? No, Allen Robinson.
That's got to be Allen Robinson. Yeah, Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson, Cortland Sutton, and Rashad White and Brian Robinson are on his bench. Yeah, no, you start Danny Dimes, Etienne, Walker,
Chubb in your flex, and then Mike Evans, AJ Brown, and then Dallas Goedert is my tight end.
Oh man, they're winning this week. I don't know who the hell else you're going against. They might have. I mean, if you don't,
I don't know how this team is 5-4. Like,
yeah, how is your team 5-4? Like, I don't get it.
It's a pretty solid run.
You must be in a league. It's like only 8 people.
No, it's a half-point PPR league. 12 people.
Rest of the year suggestions.
I think you stream between Kirk Cousins and Danny Dimes on a week-to-week basis. Whichever one of those two guys have a better matchup for the rest of the year, I think that's who you start. I would just roll. I would drop Rashad White
on the team.
Well, he's a handcuff, I think, to Leonard Fournette, but until something actually happens there, I wouldn't own him. I don't even know. I'm totally sure that Cortland Sutton or Allen Robinson are worth owning right now.
Yeah, I'd try to trade both of them for whatever I can get for them. Which isn't much.
But your starting lineup is really solid. Like, as long as you don't have anybody get hurt, you should be able to get through the rest of the season pretty solid. I mean, Chubb already went through his bye.
Really good teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean that team right there should easily be like 7-2, 6-3, something like that around the lines. You're 5-4. You must have had some down games, some down weeks. Yeah,
but I do really like your lineup. So,
I do that in a heartbeat. What?
What?
Rashad White and Allen Robinson for Justin Fields. Yes, absolutely. What?
Yeah, I would do that in a heartbeat too.
Yeah, and I'd probably trade Daniel Jones after that,
or just drop him for somebody else.
or just drop him. Yeah,
yeah, I would make that trade in a heartbeat.
yeah.
One final thing before we get up out of the show, we try to predict who's going to be the highest scorer in fantasy the week that's coming up. Neither of us had Mr. Joe Mixon going off for 54 points in fantasy and carrying me to the highest scoring points getter in my league this week. So, who do you think is going to be the highest scoring?
Oh, that's going to be a tough one, buddy.
Well, I mean, you got Brian Robinson and Nick Chubb, and then you could just stream a wide receiver. You'll have AJ Brown. You'll have Cortland Sutton.
You're gonna have to start Cortland Sutton, buddy.
Or see what's in free agency. I mean, I would just stream that week. Like find a guy.
Hey, if McCole Hardman is still out there, I'd pick him up. You know, I'd go get him in a heartbeat. Yeah, absolutely. So, anyways,
highest scoring player in fantasy this week.
Top scorer in fantasy. I am gonna go. I'm gonna go with Saquon Barkley going up against the Houston Texans.
I'm rolling with Tyreek Hill going against the Cleveland Browns. He's just been unstoppable this season. I just don't see an end to it. That's who I roll with, Tyreek Hill. Let us know who you think is going to be the number one scorer in fantasy this week. Thank you very much, everybody, for your questions. We really do appreciate it over there on YouTube. And please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast because we bring you stuff every single day, new content every single day. So keep an eye out for that stuff. I'm David Hubbin. Right there is the CEO of Prime Sports World, Mr. Israel Rivera. And my friend, what do we do here at the Prime? Let's go.
We bring the heat, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, we do. We bring the heat. Baby. And we'll be back here tomorrow with our Games of the Week show. So,
and David, I want to give you a shout out because the other David Henderson would be happy that you gave Robert Tonyan a big Bob Tonyan this week, baby.
Big Bob Tonyan.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. I'll see you later, man. Have a good night.